How do? Welcome back. Well, before I start, can I just say a big thank you to the Gentleman Scholar. We follow each other on YouTube, and he has a channel about pipe smoking and other things. But he sent me a really nice handwritten letter, and you don't often see handwritten letters today, do you? So thank you very much for taking the time. But he also sent me a label, and this is for an India Pale Ale made in Manchester, but it's not the Manchester about 40 miles in that direction. This is Manchester, New Hampshire, and the beer's called a Manch Vegas, and that's because their Manchester was once famous for having lots of illegal poker machines, and it got the nickname Manch Vegas. It's a 5% alcohol by volume India Pale Ale made by the Start Brewing Company. It looks very nice. They do make a lot of different other types of beer. I went to the website, and it says that this one uses Cascade, so I imagine it's got a really nice sharp grapefruity flavour. I couldn't find a clone recipe for it, unfortunately, otherwise I'd have liked to have made it. But thank you very much, Gentleman Scholar, for your kind letter and also this label, which I'll keep. Right, well, today I'm trying my own IPA. This is the one that I brewed and that I said I didn't like. Well, this has been in the fridge now for about 6 hours, and before that it was in the freezer for 1 hour. So it's really nicely chilled, and let's see what it tastes like now, because when I tried it before it was always at room temperature. It was from the hydrometer jar, the tube. Let's see what it tastes like chilled. There we go. Nice hiss and nice CO2. Give it a nice generous pour. And that doesn't look too bad, does it? Nice amber colour. It's very hazy, because I think that's because it was in the freezer and it's been in the fridge for so long. It's not opaque though, I can see my hand through it. It's like a shadow. So that's probably a bit of chill haze there. Just a cap of a head. Nice and white. And yeah, very malty. This is what I was saying in the last video. I think I used far too much of the dark crystal, and it's sort of like taking over, even with all the extra hops I put in. So there's a nice roasty malt, what I call like a tobacco. It's sweet, it's roasty, and then there is some hop coming through, a little bit of citrus, but nothing from the Jester, which is meant to be a nice tropical fruity hop, similar to a West Coast, Yakima Valley, Washington State hop. But I'm not picking it up in the nose. But then again, it is very cold, and I'm glad it is, because it's about 22 here today, 23. Tomorrow we're getting a high of 27, and it's going to be 25 to 27 all week, so you want your beers to be cold. Right, let's dive in, take a taste. Cheers. Tastes a lot better now it's chilled. The first thing you taste though is that dark crystal. Sweet, malty, roasty, just a tad too much. It's just a little bit too much, really. Hop wise, there's a nice hop there, so I used the Styrian Golding, although it wasn't Styrian Golding, it was, I forgot the name of it now, Celia, I think it's called Celia hop, which is a hybrid. Unfortunately, when you search for Styrian Golding on the Malt Miller, it just gives you this Celia hop, or Celia hop, however you pronounce it, and it's not identical, it's a hybrid. So I used that, and that's given me a nice taste. I think that's where some of this lemony sort of citrusy note is coming from. And then there is tropical flavours in there. They're not as powerful as with your, you know, your American hops, not by a long way. But for me it just doesn't work, because there's still that earthiness as well. It's sort of like, well, it's a mix between like an English hop with some earthiness and then the American hop, and I don't like that Jester. I've decided I'm not really keen on Jester. I don't think I'll be brewing with it again. Fortunately, I used up all the Jester I had with this beer. It was just hop. There was a flavour edition, aroma edition, and then a dry hop edition. But yeah, it's not one of my favourite hops, this Jester, so I don't think I'll be brewing with it again, which means I've got to brew this again. I think the Celia can stay though, that's not bad. And the Admiral, which I use for bittering, is giving me a really nice bitterness just at the back here. And it's not an unpleasant bitterness as well. It's not astringent or anything like that. So I think that can stay. I think that's 11. I think it's 11.8 alpha acids. So you only need a little bit to really bump up those IBUs. And then I may go back to traditional with Fuggles or something like that. East Kent Gold. Well, First Gold. I do like First Gold. Gives it that sort of like marmalade flavour, marmalade-y sort of flavour. So I might throw some of that in. But this is decent, don't get me wrong, it's drinkable. It's just that it's a bit too sweet, a bit too roasty for what I wanted. But it's okay. I'll enjoy drinking it. What's going to be interesting with this weather that we've got is how my feeling hoppy with Nova Lager yeast is gonna turn out, because I was thinking when I put it on for brewing, when I made the kit up, it was about 1920, and now we're getting this sort of like heat wave. I was expecting it would be brewing at around about room temperature, about 21. And that's where it is at the moment inside the house. But with the temperature set to rise to about 27 from tomorrow and all week, it's going to be 25, 26, 27. Obviously it's going to get warmer inside the house. Just to see what temperature it reaches and how this Nova Lager is going to respond, because I think the upper temperature range is only 18 degrees and potentially it could get up to 24 in the house, maybe higher. So it's going to be interesting. It'll ferment damn fast though at those temperatures, I'm sure. So we might be trying that next week. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching. I'm going to enjoy this now. Going to go and sit out in the garden. Got a few little bits and pieces to do with the gardening, the vegetables. Make sure that they're properly hydrated and everything. They're really coming along now. The potatoes are getting all bushy. The radishes are coming along. So I'll go and tend to them and enjoy this beer. Hope you have a great weekend. It's going to be a scorcher here in the UK. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.